not me. So. All right, we're live from the Cantina for Cantina Live. That's kind of redundant, but we're here. It's a Tuesday night. We've had a couple of episodes of Obi-Wan that have passed since we've last convened, so we've got some good stuff to talk about. Got some product reveals, some Obi-Wan Wednesdays have happened, whatever that means. Another one's happening tomorrow, as well as another episode. So we got to catch up and get ready for the new stuff. But we got to join us. RJ's joining us tonight as he's waiting on his youngster to get off work. And then Eddie's hanging out as well. Let's see if we got anybody on Facebook. We got a couple people in the shadows over on Facebook. Who are you? Let us know. Chime in. Welcome to join us on Zoom if you like. We've got all kinds of fun. You can have fun on either side of the fence, so we don't discriminate when it comes to that. So, well, let's get started. I think since we're waiting on folks to show up, let's talk about some of the product reveals on the Obi-Wan Wednesdays first. So let me get where I can share my screen. See if I remember how to do that. There it is. All right. So we've got this new one here. We saw Obi-Wan earlier, like before the series launched. But here's this Obi-Wan. It's got the kind of the blue undercoat or outer garment there, or in whatever tunic. We'll come up with any kind of word. Got him a backpack. Looks like a soft goods cape. Got his lightsaber. Got his blaster. Got some gloves on. Kind of a neat deal. Now I can't remember. RJ, are you still in on 6-inch, or you kind of passed on the Black Series now?
I passed on the Black Series a while back. I do some of the vintage collection, but I just don't have space for all these. I'd love to have them, but they're so big.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I've kind of taken the approach of there's certain ones 6-inch that I'll stick with, but I'm pretty much, if it's Star Wars, it's 3 3/4. If it's Marvel, I'll do the 6-inch Marvel Legends. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, same.
So, what about you, Eddie? Where are you at on this? Is this something that you'll be adding to your collection if you find it out there?
No, I'm just connecting the tones.
Yeah,
One moment.
Yeah, kind of pass on that guy, huh? Those that are hanging out on Facebook, you feel free to chime in if you're all in on this guy or not. So we'll go on to the next one. Of course, we got another Vader. I've heard folks talk that this is pretty much the same Vader. Maybe the undercloak is a little different. Of course, we had a Vader, I guess, in the Empire Strikes Back Black Series in the style box. I'm trying to think whatever the recent Vader. We got that concept Vader came out where they released it over Celebration. It hadn't come out, for pre-order. Everything's pre-order, of course. It's another Vader. I mean, it looks like they do have an emphasis on the red eyes, which I know we've talked about that, whether that's really even necessary. But then you get into the retro stuff. Now, I know we've got a Grand Inquisitor before. Obviously, it was with the Rebels line. But this is the Grand Inquisitor with the Kenobi, which, of course, there's a stir on the interwebs about whether or not he's really still alive or not. So I think something was said about the two stomachs issue was brought up in the last week or so. So we'll see him again, I'm sure. What about this? You guys interested in this retro line?
If I find it, I'll get it.
Yeah. That's the thing. If I find it, I'll get it. Yeah, I think that's for all of us.
I just hate that big retro sticker right in the middle of the.
I know. And they said after that first series that they're easier to get off. I don't think they are.
No, I don't think so. I've ruined 2 Boba Fett's trying to get them off.
Yeah, because I'd look great without that retro sticker, but I don't know. I don't really think there's it's not necessary that it's on there.
Like the big GameStop price stickers, they got to slap right on the front.
Oh, I know. I'm like, really, guys? And they got them priced higher than normal anyway at GameStop.
Yeah.
And then they put that sticker on there.
Then when they reduce it, they got to put another sticker just half over it to take up even more space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't understand that, but yeah, I'm kind of like you. If I see it, I'll get it. Some of these things I pre-order. I haven't these. I'll just, if I see it, I'll get it. Now there is one in this line. Let's see if I've got it next here. well, there's two in this line. I really like this droid. You know, we can obviously talk about that tonight. The Ned B. It's pretty cool look to him and everything. Just kind of his nuances. And, you know, he doesn't speak, but you know, just like in was it episode 3 or part 3? He's got that hammer behind his back, so he's got some cool faculties about him. I wouldn't mind having this in the collection for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure they'll come out with the vintage collection version, which won't be too much different. Let's see. You know, Obi-Wan. I mean, yeah, I guess because it's Obi-Wan, but it didn't have the same feel as some of the other retro that look like vintage figures, at least to me. I guess there's too much soft goods stuff on him.
It reminds me of Fat Thor.
Fat Thor, okay.
From Endgame.
Yeah. That was awesome when you see him for the first time in Endgame. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he comes there. They're playing Fortnite or something. What's that guy?
Here to fix the cable.
Yes. You know, the more I've looked at this, it looks like Obi-Wan has got a Snuggie on or something. You know,
yeah,
those things. Snuggie Obi-Wan. That's who this is. So, so if you're interested in a Snuggie Obi-Wan figure, this is the one for you, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's see what else. All right, there it is. I'd get this one. So, I just think he looks. I mean, he does have that vintage look to it, but it's just, I guess, the cloth cape like that, or would you rather have it like the vintage cape? What do you think?
I like the cloth cape. I prefer the vintage cape.
Yeah.
But is this the same Vader from the original line, the original first retro, or did that one have a vinyl cape?
I can't
remember.
I don't have one anymore. I think it had the vinyl cape, but it didn't have the red eyes. And the saber was like the other saber, like the traditional, where this is more like an Empire Strikes Back moving forward saber.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that's right. Yeah. So it's the stick.
Yeah, like the Luke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Luke, the Bespin Luke and Jedi Luke and all that. Look at this. Darth Vader, the Dark Times. What a name. I didn't notice that until just now. This is the Dark Times Darth Vader. So...
Is there a Good Times Darth Vader?
There's a Good Times. It's got like a Cheers background. It's got Norm back here. We gotta go where everybody knows. Hey, it's a Good Times Vader. What's up, Vader? Those are the beer mug and everything.
Hugging C-3PO, having conversations.
Yeah, that's right. Remember when you built me? Your mama said no. Oh, good. So this. I'll pick up this one now just for the laughs, I think. So, Dark Times of Vader. But, you know, the cape, that is different, and the saber's different, so I guess that distinguishes it from the traditional retro, the traditional vintage one and the previous retro release. You know, for those, I guess that's where I could see the sticker maybe is something you want to leave on there because, you know, I know the people want to talk about them not looking like or distinguish them before they're the original, but everybody knows.
Yeah.
All this stuff up here, the +4 and all that jazz. But if you're creating a brand new figure, there's no need for this retro sticker.
No.
So, I don't know. Let's see what else we got. We're back to the start. I think there's some other stuff. I think there's some Lego reveals as well, which one of my boys is pretty stoked about that. See, Edward, they should just cover up his head since it's point of That's right. Vader is Dino Mine. I agree, Edward. No doubt. That is the figure to get. So, all right. So let's stop sharing this page here. There we go. All right. Just us here hanging out. All right. So that's the products you've been seeing. What do you, because we got another Obi-Wan Wednesday tomorrow, and I think they're going to run that through the series. Is there anything you're just really hoping that they should reveal or something you're wanting as far as Obi-Wan collectible that you haven't seen yet? So,
no, I like the show pretty good. It's gone a different way than I thought it was going to.
Okay.
But I like where it's going. I like the storyline so far. It hasn't gotten too far-fetched. I got some questions about some of the stuff, but
right, same.
As we get to it, we'll discuss it.
Okay.
Just No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as we think about the show, I mean, I think all of us had some expectations as long as you stayed within those parameters. You know, we left him when he was on Tatooine, giving Luke to Owen and Beru, as far as Obi-Wan, and then we saw him in A New Hope. So as long as you stay within those parameters and don't go crazy and all that, I think we're all good with getting more Obi-Wan. But like you said, there's some lingering things that, you know, some loose ends that I think they have created. I'm sure they'll tie up, and it'll be interesting to see how they do that. But we'll see, and I'm sure they'll get creative and making that a reality. So, all right, well, let's just dive in. You know, so last time we talked episode 1 and 2, and you know, those were good, but episode 3 showed up and took it to the next level, at least in my opinion. Oh man. What are some you know, and Eddie, you're welcome to chime in as well, brother. What are some stuff maybe from episode 3? I don't want to get too far into episode 4, but if you do, I don't think we'll, you know, kick you off the feed or anything. But anything stand out to you in episode 3? You just got, I mean, I got a comment about this, or I've got to you know, bring this up and see what the guys think. Anything?
I was digging all the stormtroopers.
Okay, yeah, it's good. Always good to see a good stormtrooper, that's for sure. So,
and just the dude driving the little dump truck ship or whatever it was, the rock ship, and the way he, hop in, no problem. And he gets up there and he's like, man, y'all might want to check them out.
Freck or whatever his name was.
Yeah, Fred or whatever.
Yeah. Dude, his whole face was giving me the heebie-jeebies. Everything was moving and all that stuff, like a mole or something. Oh man. So, but yeah, he was an interesting character too. What about you, Ed? Good to see you jump in here with us. Anything stand out to you in episode 3 before we kind of start talking logistics? Oh, I don't think we can hear you, buddy. We can't hear you yet.
Oh, everything's good. I'm liking the way the story's going.
Good deal. All right. Very well. All right. Yes, I think the audio thing was cutting out on us. All right, so let's see. Sorry, I got other messages popping in here on me too. So if we look at episode 3, you know, it opens up, you know, you've got Obi-Wan, he's there on the ship with Leia. They're waiting to go, I guess, to the mining plant. What is that planet called? Let's see if I got it written down anywhere. I don't remember the name of it. And you know, he's meditating, he's calling out to Qui-Gon.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Master, you hear me? I mean, he's just getting silence from Qui-Gon. It makes you wonder, and I guess, you know, in those 10 years up to that point, has he heard anything from Qui-Gon at this point? Or is he still just pleading his case, just hoping to hear?
Well, in the book, he does.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And, from a certain point of view, he does.
Okay.
But that also, I think that chapter it would be after this.
Okay.
That part of it.
Yeah, I really believe in, you know, and again, not get too far ahead. I think before he meets up with Vader again, he's going to have some time with Qui-Gon. Yeah, to get him back on track. And we see in episode 4, and we'll get to it, but you see him starting to come back to form, come back to being the Jedi we all know and love. Because right now he's a grumpy old dude. He's just mean. Leia's talking to him. He's like, "Would you just be quiet? How does the Force work? Can't you make this ship go faster?" It's like you're going on a trip to the beach with your kids or something. Go, can we get there? Can you make us go faster, Dad? And that's pretty much what's happening here.
I wonder if he's sitting there thinking, you know, Mace Windu wasn't such a bad guy after all. He might have been a little grumpy, but I ain't saying he was wrong, but I understand.
Yeah. Had to put up all our shenanigans. I don't know, nagging little girl. Good grief. Now I just found out one of my Padawans I thought I killed is still alive. His name's Darth Vader. Oh. But I tell you, though, because you have that scene there, and you know, he's calling out to Qui-Gon, and they keep splitting back to Anakin in the back of the tank, and he comes out, and they're putting him together. Dude, that was some creepy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Man, he's just mangled up, and it's almost like the way they're assembling him, kind of like Iron Man, you know, the Avenger stuff. You know, his arms are coming on, his breathing apparatus is going into his chest. I was like, oh, dude. It's rough. You see those eyes kind of piercing through you as that before that helmet comes down and seals, and then you hear the breathing. But it was that was intense. So, and then he said, he said? He goes, he's coming, master. It's like, you've been quiet, but man, I need some help because he's coming after me.
He got to reconnect with the Force, get his mojo back.
Right here. So, what she asked us, what's the Force like? What she said, something about, are you afraid of the dark or something like that? And what is it?
Turn
how do
the
you
light
feel?
on?
Yeah, when the light comes on, I feel safe. Well, that's how it feels. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. He's probably thinking, I don't feel that way right now. So, but that's how I'm going to describe it. So, all right, let's see here. What y'all think about? So they finally get on the mining planet, and his mind's all over the place, and then he sees that kind of specter of Obi-Wan in the of Anakin in the distance. Sees that cloak, and you knew that's what it was going to be when you saw it. And then there you could actually see Hayden Christensen's face or Anakin's face. I was like, oh, dude, being haunted. And you wonder if this is the first time this has happened. Obviously, it's now that he knows he's alive, I'm sure it's intensified. Or if this is something he's battled for the last 10 years. On Tatooine.
It's got to be.
Yeah. Because
that's got to be something. He's lived. I mean, they've known each other forever, and they go through that, and he's out there isolated. Mm-hmm. Nobody else don't know what's going on in the rest of the world, the rest of the galaxy. So I mean, it's got to be hard on his mind.
Oh yeah, because I mean, when you meet him in episode 1 or part 1, I mean, he's, like I said, he's just a shell of who he was. That one Jedi that's on the run finds him. He goes, what happened to you? And he's like, best thing for you to do is go bury that lightsaber and forget this stuff.
Yeah.
And here he is, just found out Anakin's alive. He's trying to save this little girl, get her back to her parents, and the train has come off the rails essentially.
Oh yeah, big time
for sure. Hey Johnny, what's up, man? Good to see you, my friend. We're talking a little Obi-Wan. Feel free to jump over on the Zoom side, or you can keep rocking and rolling from the Facebook side. So, all right, let's see. So we talked about meeting up with old Freck. I know what the one thing I wanted to see if you guys saw. What was it? Reva. She makes that big reveal or whatever to Vader. Talking about him and all this stuff, and says, if you come through in this, the Grand Inquisitor seat's yours. If not, you're going to be wishing you were dead. And I've paid attention since episode 2. After she stabs the Grand Inquisitor, they never say he's dead yet. They just talk about him, or they'll not finish the sentence. And I know the actor Rupert Friend, Rupert Friend, he's made comments on some shows about how his character, and they do, that species has 2 stomachs. So, I have a feeling we'll see him again. I mean, I obviously know he's in Rebels.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting how they kind of lead you a little bit, and then they kind of pull back on it. So, let's see what else.
Did you gotta jump off here for a minute? I'm gonna just shut my camera off and I'm gonna mute that drive. So I'll be back.
All right, man. We'll holler at you in a little while. So. All right, so let's see. But I know what it was. So they got Reva. She shows back up at the Inquisitor place. She goes in that room with Fifth Brother, and you look around the room. Did you guys notice all those lightsabers that line the room? Like in the main, I guess you call conference room of the Inquisitor castle or whatever it is, Inquisitorium. All around the room are lightsabers, and then I think there's some youngling helmets as well, kind of like trophies of their conquers or their exploits. So, of course, we see in episode 4 or part 4, they've got a little more than that. So, kind of interesting to kind of see how this is all playing out and how they're manhandling folks or getting rid of all these Jedi. So they hitch a ride with Freck there on Mapuza. That's it, Mapuza, the mining planet. Looking at these notes I got here, I don't know about you guys, but I think RJ said as well. It's always good to see stormtroopers, and we see plenty of those. But I just think it's really cool when you see a stormtrooper that his suit's not like pearly white, when he's all dirty and stuff. I mean, obviously it ties you back to Mandalorian. We see those remnant troopers. We see these guys on this mining plant. They got dirt all over their armor and all this stuff. And you think, oh, of course they do, but it's just a cool look, because all we ever saw on the original stuff was the shiny white. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I know that's just a simple thing. What are you guys thinking, Eddie or Ed or Edward? So we still can't hear you, Edward. I don't know what's going on, buddy. It says to ask to unmute. It says you're muted, I guess. Try again. Oh, still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on, brother. I can see your mouth moving. So there you go. Type some great insight or something. We'll go with that. But yeah, it's just always good to see Stormies, especially ones that I have put in a good days of work. That's for sure. There. It's the West Virginia planet. Coal to be used later in the episode. There you go. Nice. I hear you, man. I hear you. All right. So we see those guys, they jump on there, and then they kind of have the whole story with Luma and her dad. And then Obi-Wan actually calls her Leia when they're telling the story. And it was kind of funny watching the little actors kind of, I don't know what to say here. And he recovers pretty quick. It's been so fresh. Sometimes I confuse their names and all that jazz. But we do learn more about Obi-Wan, something we never learned before, or he has these flashbacks of or these memories of his life before Jedi. What has he said? She's a good. Oh man, she definitely is. I agree with that, Edward. She is definitely a good little actress. Acts smart and still acts her age. But as we learn about Obi-Wan, he talks about his mother's shawl, his father's hands, and he said he had a brother. Now I know in some of the books that Owen is actually his brother, and I wonder if they're going to play that out in this series. We're going to find out that Owen Lars is actually Obi-Wan's brother, and I know that may kind of rub some of the other things we've already seen in the prequels a different direction, or it may have just been a nugget they dropped in there to give some more character development for Obi-Wan, because he does quickly go to, okay, but then I became part of the Jedi, and that was my family. So he kind of turns the page, if you will. So maybe we'll hear more about it, maybe not. But it was cool just to hear more about who Obi-Wan was, what his past was like. Well, not long after it's, hey, let's connect and talk about our family past, everything turns south. Old Freck sells him out. Probe droid comes, and then we, of course, learn that there's a spy in the midst with Talia, and she rescues him. So, and off they go to the old safe house, and kind of learn a little bit there. We are introduced to the path, and see some familiar names there with Quinlan Voss. His name's there. Some other people have taken some time to work to the Arabesh that's on the walls. Some of the other Jedi names, some that I think appeared in Clone Wars and some of the other novels. So it'd be interesting to see if we see some more folks pop up in the story. Now, granted, this is RJ and I were saying earlier, there's not a lot left in this series. We're 4 parts in. It's only 6 parts. They got a lot to do. Maybe that's a question we'll entertain in the end. What do we want to see happen in these last 2 episodes or parts? So, but we do meet Ned B. We kind of talked about him a little bit with the product reveals and with that retro figure. Really cool droid. I think one of the better droids that they've had. And we've had a lot of good ones, and all of them talked for the most part or made certain noises. But just his presence, I think, was cool. Again, him just having that hammer behind his back, ready to bonk one of those stormtroopers if needed. This says a lot about his personality. So I thought that was super sweet and cool in that regard. So yes, got some more. Okay, there you go. Knights of the Old Republic looking droid. That's something I never played much of. Now, have they released the relaunch of that or the remake of that yet, Edward? Because I know that was coming down the pipe. some of those characters in there. I've read some of the novels that have been based off those characters, but never really played the game. But I know that was one within Star Wars fandom that a lot of folks loved. Okay. Gotcha. Replaying the Switch port now. Okay. Pretty fun still. Nice. Okay. Good deal. Yeah, I know I can't remember the timeline when the remake's supposed to be coming out. But I've seen some of the trailers and stuff, and man, it looks intense. Looks good. So we learn about the path. Their base is in Jabiim, and we actually end up there a little bit later. But definitely gives that Underground Railroad kind of vibe, as we think about, American history and Civil War and abolitionists and things of that nature. Like I said, the safe houses. We see Quinlan Voss's name there, and she makes the comment. Talia does. She goes, "Well, he's still around. He helps out with moving the younglings every now and then." It's like, okay, so maybe there's more to that. And I know at Celebration, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, or give some more insight. I know they talked about a new series called Skeleton Crew. Did you guys see that? That's going to be a new Disney Plus Star Wars series. And I'm wondering if that's going to be tied into the Path stuff. Yeah, the Jude Law one. That's it. Yeah. That's right, it would be. But yeah, so I'm wondering if that's it and it's going to be tied into this. Because, a lot of these series like this, they kind of are soft pilots, if you will, for new stuff, kind of spin out. Like we had Ahsoka in The Mandalorian. Now she's getting her show. I mean, all these different things. So I'm wondering if the Skeleton Crew is part of the Path thing, because really, see, this is kind of the infancy, I guess, of the rebellion building here. Which right now I'm listening to, what is it? The book with Hera and Kana. Is it The New Dawn, I think, or something like that? Oh yeah, there has been rumors of a Reva show as well. So, and I guess that tells us right there that she survives this series. So. Now, here, let's chase that for a minute. I'm glad you brought that up. People have talked about too many toys. Not to, you're right. She's got to. They've already released all these different toys of her. She's got to stay alive. But I guess my question is, early on, I thought, okay, she's going to have a redemption arc or something in this as well. And I think that night Steve was on here, maybe the last time we talked about, of course, is the Obi-Wan show, which is really turning into more of a Leia show as well, and a Reva show. But man, I don't think she can get any redemption in this show, right? I mean, she may in this other story. She's just wicked. She is a tough, wicked character. I mean, I think Fifth Brother has a better chance of being redeemed than she does at this point. He's not going around the marketplace cutting people's hands off or anything like that. So torturing children, that's kind of tough to get behind that. It's kind of, you go there, it's kind of hard to come back. Poor little Leia's strapped in the torture chair, got some things about to take her eyes out or something. I don't know. RJ, what do you think? You think Reva can be redeemed? I see you jump back in on us here. So I don't know. Hey, maybe he didn't jump back in. He's in the dark. Maybe Reva's got him. I don't know. So, but yeah, she's wicked. Something wicked comes this way when she shows up in the room. That's for sure. But we see she does. Before this episode's over, she gets Leia, and then we see the interrogation in episode 4. But before we get to episode 4, man, when episode 3 hits and Vader shows up in the town, and he's walking through, snapping necks. I mean, dragging people out in the street and all that stuff. I mean, all of it's trying to force Obi-Wan out, obviously, because Obi-Wan is who he says he is. He'd come out there and defend these folks. But I mean, again, as he told Talia, he's just Ben now. He's just again a shell of himself. But he brings that guy out the windows, got him up choking, then his son comes out and he just, man, that was some of the most vicious Vader I've ever seen.
The flashback to the Rogue One. Well, it's before Rogue One, actually. So
right, yeah, but yeah, you definitely get the idea of how vicious this dude is, and just kind of no nonsense. Plus, I mean, he's thinking Obi-Wan's around here anyway. I'm fixing to go to town on this guy as soon as I see him. And so eventually Obi-Wan kind of comes out of hiding, and they have that confrontation, and he's just Vader's. I mean, I bet he's he's disappointed. He's like, I I expect a little more here. But what does he say? The years haven't been good to you, or something like that, or haven't been kind to you, or made you weak, or something like that. Let's see. There was a comment. Let's see here.
Ben asked him, "What have you become?" And he said, "I've become what you made me."
Yeah, what you made me. I saw somebody post a meme the other day or something on that line. It says, and then Obi-Wan said, "Well, I thought you were a little shorter." So, I was like, "Oh, that's rough. This sounds rough." Yeah, that's right. RJ's gone to the dark side. We can't see him anymore. He's hanging out over there on Vader's side of the fence.
I'm out my front yard.
Oh, there you go. Well, I did see this. I think I threw it up on the event page today. That Hayden Christensen said this because they were talking about the what's to come in the series, and he said, "Well, I think this was Hayden Christensen saying this. Well, I think that came as a shock to Vader to see how disconnected from the Force Obi-Wan was at this point. Yeah. I think Vader wants Obi-Wan to be able to put up more of a fight. I don't want to say too much about what's to come. So, of course, they're going to have another battle.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, I guess, and I heard some folks talking about it the other day on, I can't remember what podcast, maybe in Rebel Force Radio or some of the others. What's the other one? Rule of the Galaxy. But I guess where does this series have to end as far as their tension in order to prepare us for A New Hope? Obviously, they've got to see they'll battle again, but I mean, what are the results of that battle going to be in order for us to be okay with where we are with the storyline for New Hope?
I don't know. It's too many things at play.
Yeah, because we get to New Hope. I mean, Vader's got to think that Obi-Wan's dead or no longer a factor by then.
Yeah.
So is the next battle they're going to have, is Obi-Wan going to be beaten even worse than he was, drugged through the fire, and we saw that, which was wicked. Oh, gosh. I first saw that and I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Vader just kind of quit. He just man, ain't even no sense of whipping up on this old man.
Oh yeah.
He's already miserable. Just let him be miserable.
Mm-hmm. And that's because you could see him. He was fighting. He's like one hand, like going, come on, Obi-Wan. Yeah. Obi-Wan's got two hands on the saber. He's falling
like when
you're
playing with your little kid. But come on,
come on. Yeah, Ed says a battle with no one killed? ? Maybe Qui-Gon appears and tries to break it up. Colburn's got to hurt. No, there's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was just toying with him, and but I think you're right. The guy's miserable. He's a shell of who he used to be. Oh, let him be.
Man, I hope he gets Leia home and she's all right.
Yes. That's right. Yeah.
No spoilers on that one.
Yeah. I don't know how it's going to turn out. So we'll see. That little girl, she's precious. I think she's great, but I don't know if she's going to make it out. So far, this has been the Leia's been kidnapped show. She's been kidnapped twice now. So
yeah.
And been rescued twice. So
the thing that got me was when they broke into that. They broke into the building and they had to steal uniforms and wear uniforms again.
Yes. Yeah. That's it.
It's getting Scooby-Doo predictable.
Yes. And kind of again back on 3, it was almost like watching a horror movie because Obi-Wan's around in that mining area, and he's kind of running around. It's dark, and he's got his lightsaber, and Vader just appears. It's like Michael Myers or Jason.
Yeah, just step out of the shadows.
Yeah, like for you right now, all we see is a silhouette of your head, and all of a sudden, somebody's going to appear. And
my kids turn the garage lights on. I'm going to get ate up with bugs in a minute.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for trying to reenact Obi-Wan episode 3 for us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
See a red lightsaber come on. So, but yeah, I mean, he just toys with him, tries to burn him up a little bit, and then Ned B and Talia come to the rescue and get Obi-Wan out of there, and Reva, I guess, kills the pilot and takes off little Leia. So, let's see. The Anakin is kind of out of the Conjuring. Also, Inquisitor not dead since horror movies rule apply. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good, Ed. You're right about that. So that rolls us into 4. Now there's something, and maybe you guys didn't catch it. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. In part 3, they had their little beginning, Lucasfilm, and it runs through those those helmets, the Vader's helmet.
They changed it.
Yeah, they did, and I'm trying to see.
I think the Mando helmet's in there now.
Yeah, there's one I didn't know, and I'm gonna see if I can pull it up and get y'all's insight on it. I know Ned B's got put in now. He was the first one they showed when it came into 4, and then the second one I couldn't figure out. So I'm gonna see if I can pull it up and see if you guys know what it is. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Sorry guys, bear with me here. I'm gonna edit this photo so you don't have to see everything else in the photo. I took the picture with my phone. I was like, I gotta get that photo real quick. So not the most high tech build, but here. All right. So the first silhouette you have is Ned B. I didn't get a shot of it, but the second one, and maybe this is what we're gonna see soon. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Look at this. Can you see it? The blue image. You guys see that?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
At first, I thought it was like a kitchen sink or in a stove or something. But that's the second image. So you got Ned B, and then this, and then it goes into the cycle of everything else. I'm clueless. So I was, looking all episode to see what
is that. A lightsaber in the middle?
I don't know. Let's see if I can zoom in some. I know it's just not a great image. I don't know what it is. But at first I was like, these are sink faucets. That's what that is. But no, it's not. But it's some kind of droid, I guess we're gonna see soon. I don't know. It's really odd.
Yeah, maybe Obi-Wan jacks Vader up enough they got to stick him in one of them.
Maybe
iron or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
easy bake oven or
easy bake oven. Yeah. Oh, must be off the anime, but haven't followed those close. Yeah, maybe it'd be. I don't know. With the animated stuff, I mean, I've watched all those. I mean, of course, they got the new Bad Batch season that'll be coming, but for them to change it, I mean, I can see the Ned B. I mean, because we met him the episode before, and now we get him in the deal. But in this one, I just don't know. So maybe it's more to come. But it's interesting. So be on the lookout for the stove kitchen sink droid thing.
Playset.
Yeah, it's coming.
Vader's kitchen.
It'll be Obi-Wan reveal from Obi-Wan Wednesday. So next. So I thought that was a rather interesting. Wanted to get y'all's feedback on that. So we get into episode 4, and what did you think about those cool back to flashes? And it's not quite the flash back to like Boba Fett, but Obi-Wan's in the back to because of his burns, his cold burns, if you will, and now him and Anakin are kind of having these dual. It's almost like a Force link, having these flashbacks. Man,
almost like Rey and Kylo.
Yeah. It's weird because you kind of go down Obi-Wan's arm, and you see all the burns, and then it kind of flashes over to Anakin. You see all his scars, and then there's no hand, then there is a hand because it's Obi-Wan. It was crazy. But Joker comes up and he's like, "Where's Leia? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that little girl. I'm supposed to get to Alderaan for you."
Yeah, about that.
I'm not real sure where she's at. Is that okay? But at least we got you in the back. Is that you sure? No. So they got to get a plan. Get a plan together. Meanwhile, on Ner, the Inquisitor's Inquisitorium, Reva starts to interrogate poor little Leia. So
yeah. And she's putting up a fight too. She ain't letting her in.
No, what was it? She's pulling. Well, I mean, granted, this is before Kylo, so which is kind of neat. The trick that her son would try to do on people and pull things out of their head, Reva's doing to her, and she looks like goes, "Is this a staring contest?"
Yeah.
which points to her force ability, which is kind of, I know we don't see a lot of in the original trilogy. Then they kind of play up a little more probably than they should in the sequel trilogy with the Mary Poppins thing and all that in Last Jedi. Which I'm not a fan of, but we'll just leave it at that. But there is that force ability that's in her famay. So just that,
and she don't even know she's got it or what she's using.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's why she's probably wondering, like, why are you staring at me? What's the deal here?
It's here. What's going on? You trying to do something? Which and it's one of the guys I think on Rebel Force Radio brought this up in Return of the Jedi when Luke does the kind of big reveal to her. Talks about the Force runs strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. My sister has it. And, she says, well, I kind of feel like I've always already known. Now, does that mean she already knew she was a sister or already felt like she had the Force ability? We don't know. So
I always, even before the prequels and everything else, I always took that as she knew she had some sort of Force ability. She might have been able to. That's why she was such a good leader. She had sense for what was coming up, when danger was ahead, even though she didn't know. So, we're there.
Yeah, you're there. You're there.
My phone's dying.
Oh,
all
man.
right. Well, I hate to cut it short, but I'll see y'all later.
All right, take care, RJ. Good to see you, buddy.
Good seeing you. Bye.
Yeah, so obviously she's got that Force ability in there, so we see little inklings of that. So we see Obi-Wan makes his entrance, much like in Episode 1, uses the rebreather. Remember that in Episode 1 where him and Qui-Gon go down to the Gungans hideout, and here he's got the rebreather as he gains entrance into the Inquisitor's deal. So let's see. What else? Reva, though, man, she doesn't give up on Leia. Starts revealing a little bit about her past. Talks about how everything was taken from her when she was younger. The droid. You saying something, Ed? We can't hear you, buddy. Or are you just talking to somebody else? But yeah, so again leads us to believe that she is from got a Jedi past, from that very first episode, and those younglings are fleeing and everything. Leads us to believe that maybe she's again kind of building that case of being one that was taken as a youngling. Her droid was taken from her, and then she was, who knows how she became an Inquisitor. We saw in Episode 2 when the Grand Inquisitor said, you were rescued, you were taken from the gutter. It's because your powers kind of gave you a place, all this stuff, but you're kind of, like a better word, second class and all those different things. So there's some baggage she's carrying along with her, and she's using that. She's talking with Leia here, trying to get on her side here. So, all right. So let's see here. What else can we throw our way here? We may cut. Jose, it's just you and I hanging out now, man. Everybody's had to bolt, buddy. So let's see. Some throwbacks to New Hope, obviously, in this one. Talia's abandoned comm link, and Obi-Wan's trying to call her, much like 3PO when Luke was trying to call him when the trash compactor scene. That was kind of cool. A lot of things were interesting about this episode that connected with the New Hope when they're on the Death Star and stuff like that. Let's see. I really loved, just Obi-Wan's progression through this whole episode. Kind of, again, him returning back to his form, from making the noise with the Force. Well, earlier in the episode, he's just trying to drag something. He can't even do that because he's so weak in the Force. But then he starts making the noise. And then later, when he's rescued Leia and they're fleeing, his saber skills are a little iffy, but then they start to come around and start to deflect blaster bolts better and stuff. He does that little, kind of little, I can't think, kind of the nuances with the saber, kind of the twirling and all that jazz to, again, showing, hey, he's still got it in there. So he's coming around. He should be ready to rock and roll once he's ready for that rematch. But I really think he's going to have some time with Qui-Gon before that happens. But he does rescue Leia after he goes through the entombed Jedi hallway, if you will. And I don't know if Jedi is right to say there, because we don't know if all these folks are Jedi. We do know that there's a youngling there that has got the helmet, the practice helmet on. So we know that. Some of the others are just like an everyday wardrobe, if you will, or everyday clothing. They're street clothes. They're in the street clothes. So no Jedi robes, really. Now, some folks have said, okay, this is so-and-so from the Clone Wars, and they're a little more in depth in that than I am. But so what's the point of this? Is this like that Project Harvester that's been mentioned before in some of the other entertainment, Star Wars entertainment? Are they anybody that's force sensitive? Are they harvesting some of their blood with their midi-chlorians or something like that? It's I hear that, Ed. That's for sure, Edward. He's a Rocky star. I think it's coming. He's going to be, Qui-Gon's going to be there in spirit form. He's going to be doing all kinds of stuff, running in the snow in Siberia, all that. It's going to happen. And then he'll be ready to fight Dolph Lundgren as well as Vader. And he'll win both of those matches. And part of that training is the cracked glass scene when he has to use the Force and hold it all in. That was crazy, though, when he finally let it go and that hallway just floods and the doors shut and you see those troopers just floating there. And it's just, wild. But, they make their escape and they head out. And you got Obi-Wan has an oversized trench coat and it's got Leia under it. So that was kind of odd. It's kind of like those the Little Rascals. I think there's a scene where they go in the bank trying to get a loan and like they're on each other's shoulders and on a trench coat and trying to fool. And so I got images of that. And everything's going crazy. Nobody's paying attention, I guess. But eventually Reva catches up with them. But at that time, the air speeders show up and T-47s and is that right? The T-47s and do a little rescue. But then we see Wade doesn't make it out. But they're free. They've escaped. Or have they? And we see that sneaky Reva, has planted a tracker on Lola. So they haven't got far enough away because now they know where they're going. Vader shows up, going to let him have it. And then she said, oh, I let him go. And then all of a sudden he changed. Oh, well, maybe I underestimated you. So, which I thought was kind of quick change of pace or quick change there. So we'll see. So I guess, as we think about where we've got to go to wrap this up, of course, with these two episodes, I really like episode 3 a lot. 4 is good too. I mean, all of it's good. Obi-Wan's coming back around. I haven't been disappointed at all. I know some people have kind of downed episode 4, and I think that's just, I think you need to commit to watch the whole thing. Then you can make some criticism if you want to even criticize. It's a story that's unfolding. But as we have 2 episodes left or 2 parts left, what are some things you guys want to see happen? Okay. Oh, Edward says maybe the tracker is so overused, our heroes anticipate that and set a trap for Vader. Okay, maybe. Hey, that's a good point. Maybe. So what about Edward? What about Eddie? What are some things that you want to see happen in these final 2 episodes in order for you to say, okay, this series has lived up to where I'm at? Or maybe there's some loose ends you think that still need to be tied up. Any thoughts, you guys? Feel free to, throw them in the chat or whatever you want to do there. Personally, I don't think, as I noted earlier, I don't think Reva can have a redemption. Not in this show. She's too far gone. As we talk, she's torturing kids, cutting people's hands off. She wants the recognition. Some have said, okay, what's her vendetta against Obi-Wan, or is she having some kind of ulterior motive? She's trying to take Vader out. I mean, she wants to be top dog here. So for her to come around to the other side, I don't think that can happen in the 2 parts that are left. Fifth brother, maybe he should be allowed to do anything. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. He should be able. Yeah, I really think there's going to be some kind of fight between them, fifth brother and Reva. I think that's probably going to happen. So it'll be interesting. See those 2 square up, or the Grand Inquisitor shows back up and he has to deal with her. So I don't know. what you may think about that, Eddie. I know you're kind of still hanging out in Zoom and the chat aspect. Obviously, we got to see a battle between Vader and Obi-Wan. That's going to happen. After the the Rocky training montage and all that stuff, and Qui-Gon coming out and leading him and everything. We know he's getting the saber skills back. You're starting to be able to use the Force again, so it should be a better matchup. I think we'll learn, or I think this is setting up. I think again, what was it? The Skeleton Crew. So maybe Talia will end this series kind of as a leader, moving forward into that, or maybe we'll see Quinlan or something. Still, 2 episodes. I mean, a lot can happen in 1 episode, but just so many things I want to see that get us ready. Now they've talked about a season 2, but I don't think they originally filmed this with season 2 in mind. I think that's came after maybe they had some thoughts of it, but after that initial popularity, that initial buzz, and then they said, "Yeah, let's go with it." So we'll see. Maybe a tag team rematch or 3 versus 2. Okay, maybe. Yes, yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. We'll see. But a lot still out there. We'll learn more tomorrow when episode 5 drops. So I know you guys will be tuning in as soon as you can to watch that. So hopefully it won't disappoint. I'm sure it won't. It's more Star Wars. It's got Obi-Wan in it. It's got Vader in it. Got Leia in it. And a bunch of new characters that haven't been too disappointing. So it'll be good. More Obi-Wan material tomorrow. Obi-Wan Wednesdays with collectibles and things like that. So maybe there'll be some cool stuff to pre-order or to look forward to. I've been waiting since Sith for Qui-Gon Force Ghost. So that alone, and I'm happy. I hear you, man. I'd love to see it. Which I think we saw it in the Clone Wars, right? But it was on Mortis, and something about Force is amplified or something. That's the only time we've heard his voice, obviously, but maybe the only time we saw him as a Force Ghost was then in animation. But we want to see live action, so I'm with you on that, Ed. So, well, guys, I think that's it. I know it was a quick run through, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff to talk through. I know we didn't have too many folks pop on tonight, but I'm thankful for Eddie, and thanks for Edward, thanks for RJ hanging out there. That's all right, man. No worries, Edward. But yeah, we'll do this again in 2 weeks to kind of wrap up the show. Maybe we'll have some more time in there. We'll know where the story's going and what are some other threads that they can chase. So it ought to be good. So, well, guys, have a great rest of the week, and may the Force be with you, and stay classy, Cantina. Thanks again, guys. Take care. Bye.